everybody. So apparently getting YouTubes to work correctly is a frangible skill, and when you haven't done it for a month, I kind of messed up. So anyway, here we are, just a little smidge past 7, and I am so glad to see everybody. Thank you so much. Yes, Finn was very happy to see me, and I was very happy to see him as well. My mom is doing well. She is feeling much better than she was when I first got there. So the surgery that she had did the thing it was supposed to do. She does have cancer, and that isn't going to be fixed, but she has been accepted into home hospice, and so that is helping her immensely. There's a lot of resources with hospice, and she's got them now, so that's awesome. So, hello, Rosie. Hi, Karen. Hey, Amy and Shirley. Appreciate you guys coming, and I appreciate you sticking with me when things were a little skosh in the blog department. But I am back, and I have got a whole craft room full of new goodies from the January to April 2025 mini and the January to February Sale-a-Bration. And that is what we're going to use today. Hey, Barbara. Hi, Sherry and Stephanie and Sandy. Appreciate you coming. So this is kind of a cool freebie. Did I say freebie? Yes. This is an entire bundle. It's called the heart-shaped bundle, and you cannot get the stamp sets and dies separately. It comes as a bundle, but you're going to get it for free during Sale-a-Bration, January to February, when you place a $120 order before shipping and tax. So free. And it's a photopolymer set, so I know there's a bunch of you out there who really love photopolymers, and so this is right in your wheelhouse. And it has possibly one of the prettiest heart-shaped wreath dies that I have seen in a long time, plus a handy sentiment label and some foliage. So it's super cute, and I think you are going to want it. So that is what I've used today. I've showcased that on the center piece of my card, but I've also used some new DSP from the mini catalog. There's a new suite. If you have your new catalog, you can follow along. It's on page 34. It's the Floral Delight suite, and it is cornered by, based by, what am I trying to say? I don't know. The main component of it is called the Delightful Wishes bundle. And you have a stamp set, again, photopolymer. So Faith, if you're out there, this one's for you. And it has the coordinating Delightful Wishes dies, which has, oh, by the way, the word wishing you as a die. So you can cut out 2 of the pieces. I have stress fingernails, so I can't get these off very easy. Sorry about that. There we go. So you get 2 dies that say wishing. You have the small piece, which you can make the detailed word, and then you have a shadow, which is always kind of fun. This guy's being a booger. It's not liking the magnet. And then it cuts out some fun flowers. You'll have some very pretty DSP called the Floral Delight, and I've used it here. But you can see how very beautiful this DSP is. Doesn't this just say spring on paper? Spring on paper. Thanks, Deb. She is doing well. Thank you so much. All right. So Daffodil Delight, Lemon Lolly, some Balmy Blue, the magical Old Olive and Mossy Meadow colors in here are lovely. You gotta love gingham. You know I do. And some pretty solids to use as part of your backgrounds. But there's also a really pretty vellum paper that is in this suite. And look at this. Look how pretty this is. And not for nothing, this die right here in the Delightful Wishes set cuts out one of the, there it is, some vellum flowers, and you can also use this die right here to cut out these vellum flowers. You got to turn it a little bit, but you have a lot of options with this suite, so I hope you are going to love it. I'm going to show you one more thing in the suite before we get done, but I'm going to do it with our card today, so you won't have to sit and wait and watch. Oh, there is some very pretty ribbon. We aren't going to use this. It's Daffodil Delight, and it's 1/8 inch wide satin ribbon. So you have all the things, lots of pretty paper, a die bundle, and the cutest trinkets you've ever seen in your life. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. I've got some of the DSP already cut. And I am going to, you can see I have done a little bit of cardstock saving. I've cut my 3 flowers right out of the card front mat. Now you can do that. I would not recommend, if you're matting your inner liner, I do not recommend cutting out of the inner liner mat. Because if you or whoever gets this card to use and send wants to write in there, then you get some weird bumps, and then you might say bad words, and then Santa won't come. Okay, so we're gonna mat that up, and then I have the burlappy design that you guys saw. We're gonna mat that on Daffodil Delight as well. Thanks everybody. I was missing getting with you guys a couple of times a week, so I am glad to be kind of back in the saddle. And back in the saddle, I mean, I'm kind of starting to find where the stirrup is so I can climb back up. I do feel very behind. I haven't started making Christmas cookies. I'm just not ready. I'm just not ready. That's just the way that goes. And then I'm going to use some liquid glue to adhere this matted piece to my card front. And I kind of like to sometimes use my grid paper like that. I'm going to put the top at about halfway through a square and the bottom about halfway through a square, and then just make sure I can see that the top and bottom is lined up. So there you go. Done. Easy and peasy. I know, Alicia, it is a beautiful suite. I was, this was way up on my list of I had to have it right away. Okay, so next up, I have used the largest Stylish Shapes die to cut a basic white circle. And we're going to use this beautiful heart wreath. And I'm going to stamp as close to the middle. I only cut one of these circles out, so get ready. I'm going to put this right in the center as best I can and stamp it once. And then what I'm going to do is I'm not going to re-ink. I'm going to try to line up the outline portion so you can see the middle portion that outlines the heart. But I'm going to just lightly offset the leaves, okay? And stamp again. We'll see how I did there. Yeah. So you can see what that does is it makes it a fuller wreath, and then you get some depth to it. So that is kind of a pretty way to do that. Hey, Danette, thank you so much. Thanks, Renee. All right, now I'm going to take, I used that wreath die that I was telling you about, and I cut out an old olive wreath. Now, if I was smarter about my adhesive sheets, I probably would have used one on this, but I really just am not good about that. I'm just not. So I will do my liquid glue. The trick with liquid glue, I am barely squeezing the bottle. I'm just kind of rubbing it as it barely oozes out. The cool thing about liquid glue is you just really don't need a lot of it. And then I'm going to adhere this with the die cut outline as close to the stamped outline as I can get. All right, and there we go. So there is our front. I stamped the sentiment from the set. Thank you. Isn't that a beautiful font? I love it. It's in Pecan Pie, and I stamped it on basic white, and then I used this die, and you can see that I cheated the die when I cut it out so that I put the sentiment towards the right end, okay, because I don't need it to be this long. It's way too long, right? If you look at this on your card front, you'd be thinking, no, that's just way too long. That doesn't even work. So I want it back over here. So I'm just going to cut right about there. Just snip it off. Is there a really good measurement to give you? No. It's going to be the about right spot. So right about there looks about right. All right. And then I'm going to go ahead and adhere it to the card front. Now, in truth, when I was first making this, I had all these pieces and parts ready to go, and then I kind of played with it for a while before I cut this to see how how long I wanted it. But because I've given you pretty much all of it, you don't even need to think it through. You can just kind of cut it a little bit. And does it really matter if yours is exactly the same as mine? Of course not. Of course it doesn't. Mine is just a starting point. Thank you so much. Mine is a starting point, and you need to make it your own. Do what makes you happy. Okay, so I've done a little cardstock cutting. These are little granny apple green leaves, and it's kind of fun. When you cut, you get 2 leaves at once, which is handy as heck when you're trying to make foliage, because you guys know I'm a foliage girl. And then I used this die right here to cut 2 lemon lolly flower stems. Okay. And I've got 2 of those little leaves in Old Olive. Probably only going to use 1. I could stick another one in there. You don't know. And then those 3 Daffodil Delight leaves that we talked about. So with these leaves, you get some nice embossing on them. But I like to just do a little bit of curly-do with them. Like that. Hey, Marva. Yeah, I know. I'm attempting that. Everybody I know knows that I've been gone, so I may have to play that card. We just don't know. We don't know. Oops, that was not straight, or my thing. Oh, you know what? Let me go ahead and adhere that to the card front. Let's do that. That'll make it hold still. Come here, you, and hold still. Just going to use some dimensionals on the back. You're all like, oh, that was only 3 dimensionals, Mary. Will it stay on there? I think it will. And then we're just going to do right there like that. And then what's really going to happen is these guys are going to go down first, kind of like baby's breath in a floral arrangement. But for me, they're a little long. So all I did when I was making this is I just snipped it off right there. Where's the other one? Oh, there it is, right in front of me. Right in front of me. Okay. So these guys will go on about like that. I mean, I don't want them sticking way out, right? They just need to be kind of like there. And then we'll have our granny apple green guys. Like this. And then we're going to stick one little guy in here. But I'm going to do him afterwards, okay? Because I want to see where everything is looking. Now, here we go. I have been in Colorado. I left here on the 4th of November. There was some weather that my mom's surgery was supposed to be the 6th, maybe? I can't even remember. It's been a long time. But there came a giant blizzard because, you know, it's Colorado in the winter. So we weren't able to get to town. So it was rescheduled for the 7th at 5 in the afternoon, which is so fun. So we made it down there. How did we get there? Oh, one of our friends took us. Nope. No, I took us because the weather. Nope. You know what? Yeah, I took us because the weather wasn't bad. See, here's the dealio. I did do my initial driving in Colorado. So when I was in high school and college, I was current for snow. I am now very non-current for snow. So snow makes me scared, right? I don't like it, and I don't like it in the mountains, and I don't like it in the dark, and I don't like it with eggs, and I don't like it with ham, and I don't like I just don't like snow. I'm not a snow person, especially not for driving. So we missed a couple of goes and had to kind of start anew. Okay, so now that I have my 2 foliages on, I'm saving my little Old Olive leaf. I'm going to take one of these flowers and I'm going to put it right here with some liquid glue. Okay, and then I'm going to take some little bitty pieces, and by little bitty, you know, I cut my dimensionals in half. So I'm going to take my half dimensionals. What have I got over here? Okay, here we go. I'm going to take my half dimensionals and I'm going to cut one in half. That's a good thing to do when you have little pieces of little cards or little flowers like I've got here. Come here now. There we go. So that she had her surgery on the 7th and spent the night, which was good. And then we went home on the 8th. And the weather was fine. It was great for me to get home. And then it just was time. She just had to do some recovery. And that is not easy at 89. So she had a couple of days that weren't great. We did have a wonderful trip back to the ER in the ambulance the following Wednesday. That was fun. Okay, so now I've got these two are on dimensionals, right? And I'm just going to kind of pile them right there like that. See if I've got that unstickied. And then this guy is going to go right there. So I'm really just making like a pile of leaves. And now I want this guy to stick right in there. And that's going to work. I don't even have to trim him down. But you could, if you can't stick it in there because of your dimensional, just cut it down a little bit. Trim that stem off with your snips. No one will ever know. All right. Alrighty, and then we'll just slide that in there like that. And that is my flowers. I'm going to take a couple, 3 of my iridescent pearl basic jewels, which up until about an hour and a half ago, I thought I had used something that was going away and discontinued. I was wrong. The iridescent pearl basic jewels are carrying over. Yay! The iridescent rhinestone basic jewels are not, and they have already sold out. So I came very, very close to telling you a wrong thing, and I am glad I didn't. But I'm not going to use those little ones. I want the bigger ones like that, because they're so pretty. And wait till you see the next thing I'm going to do to this. Just wait. They are the cutest things on the planet. But I've been talking too much, so I need a big drink. Hang on just a second. Hey, Be Pre from Warner. Oh, is it chilly down there? Mm-hmm. We're definitely having winter, but there's no white stuff everywhere, so I'm good. I can handle it if there's no white stuff. Okay, are you ready for the cutest things ever to walk the planet? Are you? Okay. These are called tiny bee trinkets, okay? Now, look. Can you see them? I'm holding it up so you can see them. Maybe I'm getting it. There you go. Are those not the cutest things ever to fly on the planet? I'm just saying. And what I'm going to do, because it's how I roll, I am going to use little dabs of liquid glue to adhere these little guys. So I'm going to put one right there. I'm going to tuck one right there on that leaf. And then I'm going to tuck one right there on the sentiment. Yep, I am 24. Yes, it was 23 here. I mean, it's cold. The troughs froze. Everything is frozen. We've got the heated bucket in Katie's stall. So, I mean, it is definitely cold. It's just no white stuff. Okay, so this little guy's going to go right here. And then I'm going to get another one. And I'm going to put them right here. I liked him tucked under that popped up flower like that. And then our final little guy is going to be, I know, I have been cold like for 3 days. I feel like there's a period of time, you know, the heat pumps are really not that warm, and they're really not great. I don't know who came up with them. I'm certain they're all efficient and stuff, but dang, it can only take like 10 or 15 degrees off of the air temperature that it pulls in. So when it comes on to heat the house, it feels like there's a dang breeze all on you. All right, so guys, there's our card front. I'm just letting those little bee guys dry for a second. So let me do my inner liner right quick. It's super easy. It involves a heart. Yes, ma'am, they do. They are flat back. So they're probably meant to be shaker things, but shaker things aren't really my jam, but adhering them with little bits of liquid glue is definitely my thing. All right, so I'm going to take my pretty heart wreath and ink it up with Granny Apple Green, stamp it off once, and then stamp it in the middle of my white panel. And that's it. Please tell me that's dust. Yes, it is. Okay, you know what? Let me go ahead and stamp the envelope right quick. Where did you go, envelope? I opened my drawer for the envelope and then I didn't get it. Okay. Now for the front, I'm going to do a little bit offset like that in full strength. And then I'm going to, here's a tip. I want to do another stamped off once, but I've got weirdness because of how it went off of the paper. So to get my stamped off once, I'm going to re-ink, literally stamp off on a piece of scrap. And then I will do my little lineup of the heart outline and then just kind of barely move the image so that I get that leafy extra. Okay? You know, a glue dot probably would, but you might want to like cut it in half. You're going to need smaller. I mean, they are ain'tsy wincy. Ain'tsy wincy. Look at them compared to the tip of my tweezers. Okay, they're really tiny. So you're going to need, even a mini glue dot's going to be like twice as big as you need. So cut it in half. I learned a trick a few months ago. Hang on a sec. Let me find my glue dots and I will show you my amazing trick. Look. If you need to cut glue dots, just leave it on the paper and then cut it like that and leave the other half on that piece. And then you have a half piece over here and you can take it off and scrunch it up. And now you have a little tiny indy weeny polka dot bikini. No, that's not a thing. This is a glue dot. And yes, it would absolutely fit there. So if you want to use glue dots, you absolutely can, but use a half one. Okay? So that's it. Okay? Okay. Good. Here we go. Thanks, Sherry. Yep, half dot works too. If you roll up a whole one, it's going to kind of stick up a little bit. And then you're going to try to squish it down, and then it's going to come out on the sides. That's just me. All right, so let's go ahead and put our envelope flap cover on. You could use whichever. I think you could even change DSPs because all the DSPs coordinate so perfectly together that you could use any of them. But I decided to go with this one right here. And world's easiest fussy cut. Well, it's the world's easiest when you've been doing it for a minute. Isn't it interesting how quickly these skills go away? All right, so there's that. And then I'm just going to adhere this on the inside of my card base. Let's not put it on that one. Let's put it on the other card base. So I have 2 instead of like 1.5 or something. Yes, Robbie, you definitely want this. All you'll have to do is spend $120 come Sale-a-Bration time, and you can get it for free. It's the only way to get it is for free. Which is a terrible problem to have, is it not? Yeah. Having to get something for free. Oh, the horror. Okay. And then we're going to use some dimensionals on here. You can see where I cut my flowers out. There we go. And 1, 2, and 3 more. All right. And that's going to be it. I've got a bunch more goodies to play with, so there's no telling what I'll come up with next. Maybe I'll do something quicker than this even. Who knows? Maybe I'll go crazy and do something clean and simple. That's silly. Okay, there we go. And there are 2 beautiful cards from the heart-shaped bundle and some Floral Delight DSP. I mean, they're like made for each other. I am just saying. All right, guys, I appreciate you coming back after all this time, and I hope you've enjoyed the video. So see you on Thursday, I hope, 1 o'clock. Well, I don't know what we're making, but we're going to make something. All right, guys, thanks so much. Have a great rest of your weekend. Bye-bye.